Hi, welcome to She Spice. As of late, an unforeseen disclosure surfaced in the hip bounce world as Snoop Dogg guaranteed that Usher had squealed on Diddy during a new meeting. Snoop Dogg uncovered that Usher had informed Diddy about a past episode. Disclosure has ignited discussion and hypotheses inside media outlets. It features the perplexing connections and elements between craftsmen in the music business. Snoop Dogg has cautioned rappers about Diddy to avoid him. He has shared his encounters at Diddy's notorious big-name parties, which are known for their excessive nature. It is fundamental for specialists to focus on their security and notoriety in a climate that can be overflowing with contention and embarrassment. I accept that there are a few gay rappers. They simply ain't coming out of the storeroom well, and then we don't realize that they're gay. Do you suppose that a major rapper must be a major star to come out well? Straight to the point, C emerged as R&B vocalist, and he was enormous. He was on the grade, and you realize that many individuals acknowledged and valued him for being a stand-up fellow. To say that he was a client, a famous R&B craftsman has shared his encounters from his time at Diddy's Flavor Camp. When he was a youthful entertainer at 14 years old, he was shipped off live with Diddy. Usher has portrayed his time at the Flavor Camp as a groundbreaking period, where he experienced both development and difficulties. He mentioned noticing inquisitive things during his visit, which he didn't completely appreciate at the time. Usher has spoken about his encounters during that time. He depicted being acquainted with a way of life that was unseemly for his age. Usher has expressed in interviews that there were consistently young ladies around and that he would frequently observe unequivocal scenes. I moved to New York City and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year. That is an insane thing now. That was Laurit's thought, right? We're sending you over to something many refer to as Puffy Flavor. Camp there, you go to learn camp. That is what it was called, and you will go to Puff Daddy. He's going during the 90s. Do you comprehend what that resembles? Puffy's place was like just loaded up with chicks and oring like relentless, right? No, actually, except for hello, it was interested. I had the opportunity to see a few things, no doubt except for you. 13 were you seeing? I went there to see the way of life, and I saw it, and it was, nevertheless, I couldn't say whether I could enjoy and comprehend what I was in any event. Seeing it was wild, and it was so no one attempted to make you realize some lady didn't go along. Biggie Smalls was there. Lil Kim, Craig Mack, this multitude of individuals are stay nearby definitely man Confidence Evans Joe Mary J. BL they had hardly any familiarity with this. I was living it up. You understand what I mean? Does he make them do any tasks? Are you doing any dishes whatsoever? I mean, to keep you humble fairly, or are you very much like, might you at any point keep awake till 400 a.m. with them and party? I mean, I could. I, in fact, remained up longer than them, and do you have cash? What's happening? I mean, per diem I had live better believe it's insane. At 14 years of age, you're a father. Currently, would you at any point send your child to Puffy? Camp Damnation, no see Snoop Dogg's choice to line up with Diddy over Death Row Records should have been visible, as the devotion he needs to Diddy Snoop Dogg for Diddy uncovers that the client has squealed on Diddy Snoop Dogg. He has answered in a meeting hilariously that Diddy and Dr. Dre are a piece of mystery society. I said I believed they should do a melody with the that is the way I finished. I said I ain't got no issues with Puffy and Large in New York on Hot 97. Why did you say that? Because that is the way I felt they attempted to get me to dislike Puffy and Biggie while I was on death row. Fight and I pursued a decision that I definitely approved of. That was the Angie Martinez interview back in the days that caused devastation among me and death row on the grounds that didn't comprehend that I had sufficient sense to realize that I had recently beat a homicide case. Now you believe I should get in another while I'm in New York without any weapons. I'm from the hood. I group bang, so I comprehend road legislative issues. I know there's pack bangers wherever we ain't the hardest on the planet. It's an extreme on each block, so when you attempt to be too intense, that is the point at which your butt gets checked. Jean Bargan Diddy's previous guardian has made a few claims about a circumstance, including Diddy and Usher. As indicated by Bargan, what is happening prompted client being owned up to the medical clinic bargain, likewise guaranteed that Diddy prepped Usher when the vocalist was a teen he recommended. That there was something disrupting about the set of experiences of Did and Usher's relationship. Taking a gander at this claim, right, Lud, he charges that you realize Diddy told him by and by that he had sexual attendant, and when you take a gander at the claim, despite the fact that they got Usher name redacted, you could perceive who it is on the grounds that they describe him as the person that performed at the Super Bowl, right? So I mean, we as a whole know what that's identity is, nevertheless that way in which you feel about that man. Well, I referenced that prior to that. He said about Stevie J, the attendant, that is what is happening, man. You understand what I'm talking about in light of the fact that I had a specific inclination, and I felt a certain way when Usher got on Shay, and I don't mean to make reference to other stages, yet he got on Shay, and he referenced how extraordinary and how great Puff showed him and all that. Guess what I'm saying regarding the business, right? I know, and individuals realize that was around there in that time, that Puff and Usher had a circumstance, and that particular situation drove Usher to the clinic. Now I let Usher clarify that for you all. I let us recount that story. Yet, how might you venture to say a man that prepped you is going to give him a pass? Brother, you realize I know, let me refrain you on something. Recall Usher we was at the Swiss Inn. Puff was had Kim in the room, had one of Keith Sweat's child moms in the huge, the enormous room outside the main room. He came outside in this row, She gave him a fellatio not too far off his back, was gone to me. She gave him a fellatio, you thumped on the entryway. I came and opened the entryway for you. Puff went in the room, you came in the room, and kissed that young lady dead in her mouth presently. I'm telling that since you taking up with someone that you know and a ton of additional individuals know, didn't do you right when you was at Diddy music camp. You all set up it, and what you mean by Diddy count, recollect that he was on one of the syndicated programs, the white person with the wavy hair. What's his name? The white person with the wavy hair. And he said, would you send your child to Diddy see? And US said no, ask him for what reason he will not send him to Diddy camp, yet still you acclaim him. Damn man. You said that. I realize you can't carefully describe the situation, however you said that it was what was happening where D sent him to the emergency clinic. Let us clarify that for you, let us your mother make sense of that for you. And medical clinic was in Scarsdale, New York. There have been a few cases made against Diddy in regards to his associations with youthful rappers other than Usher. Dim, a hopeful rapper and entertainer, has additionally made a few serious charges against P. Diddy and Will Smith. He likewise expressed that he felt constrained to take part in things he wasn't intellectually ready for. In basically the same manner, there are claims that Diddy was affecting Justin Bieber, who was 16 years old when he met Diddy. A few sources recommend that Bieber was constrained into circumstances that are depicted as experiences with different accomplices. Will Smith and Diddy obliterate this youthful vocalist profession, and some are saying they are phrased him like they supposedly did to Justin Bieber. And Usher so Dim is an American entertainer and rapper who out of nowhere vanished from the spotlight. Also dropped a few significant clues it had to do with Diddy and Will Smith mentorship. He is presently suing them both over his experience, and on the grounds that many individuals say he was purportedly granted by the pair begun to carry on in upsetting ways, like how Justin Bieber did on July 13th. 2020. Dim was captured by police following a supposed DV episode with his significant other. Then, in May 24, 2021, he spent time in jail for supposedly putting his paws on her. So Panther Wright said she saw young men run from Diddy's home shouting from these mentorships. Snoop Dogg, the amazing rapper, has, as of late, made a few serious claims about Diddy and his treatment of R&B star Usher. As per Sneak Attendant, who was living with Diddy very early on, was presented with a way of life that was a long way from reasonable for a teen. Sneak Home Slice has communicated his anxiety about the climate Usher was exposed to during his time at Diddy's home. He depicted it as a spot loaded up with surprising experiences and encounters that were excessively full-grown for a youthful craftsman-like client. I didn't get it going, and Puffy didn't get it going one night. I was at my home and Puffy child was finished about like 9:00, and I'm similar to see you, what time you returning home? And he like, I'm going through the night, I'm similar to, did you tell your father? He like, no, my mother dropped me off so Kim find happiness in the hereafter, was associating my children with Puff children. and they framed a fellowship and a bond. When Justin went to UCLA, my child went to UCLA. When Tristan was rapping, my child was rapping. When he was Ming, they was flying over the world together. So they fashioned a companionship and a fellowship that me and Puff generally had, so assuming we got the valuable chance to take these two brands and show individuals what it tends to be rather than. Subscribe She Spice for more videos.